If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
I'll take my talents to South Beach.
live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill, with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Cousins over the middle, wide open, and there into the end zone goes Kyle Pitts for the touchdown. 5 catches, 93 yards. Cousins going that way again. He's got it. Touchdown. What a night for Kyle Pitts. 3rd and goal. Robinson in motion. Cousins goes the other way. Pitts, can he handle it? They say touchdown.
Oh, man, all it took was 74 career games to get the Kyle Pitts game we all have been hoping for. For the first time in his career, Kyle Pitts had over 100 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in a single game. And guess what? He did that in the first half. He ended up finishing the game with 3 receiving touchdowns, 166 yards. The kicker is that the former 4th overall draft pick, the highest drafted tight end in NFL history, rose to the occasion late in the game, caught the touchdown to cut into the Buccaneers' lead to make it a 28-26 Tampa lead. It set up the eventual walk-off field goal by Zane Gonzalez to help push the Falcons to the 29-28 win and play spoiler to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' playoff hopes. And at this point in the season, all the Falcons really can do is play spoiler because they've been mathematically eliminated somehow from playoff contention. I didn't expect Atlanta to be mathematically eliminated this early. But good news, they've got next year's first-round draft pick. Wait, no, they don't. That's in the hands of the Los Angeles Rams, who are now going to have a top 15, maybe even top 10 draft pick when it's all said and done. But the Dirty Birds relished the opportunity to play spoiler last night. You could see it in Raheem Morris on the sideline. You could see it in Bijan Robinson in his post-game interviews. They loved the fact that last night they could spoil the Buccaneers season. And the Buccaneers season, it has spoiled like milk because with the loss last night, things have gone from great to good to bad to worse to horrible in the matter of a couple of weeks, really, for the Buccaneers. At one point this season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were the trendy NFC champion pick. They were the dark horse guy to make it to the Super Bowl and make some noise. They had what was a fantastic quartet of receivers. They had a rookie receiver balling out in Emeka Egbuka. Of course, they had Godwin, Mike Evans, McMillan, their rookie from last year, all playing well, all firing on all cylinders. Baker Mayfield was looking like a dark horse MVP candidate, but then the injuries started to mount. Baker got hit with a couple of bumps and bruises. Emeka Egbuka started to cool off. Evans missed some time. Godwin missed some time. And because of all of that, the offense sputtered. And now they were finally healthy last night. Things looked to be trending in the right direction. The Buccaneers looked like they were on the right path to get back to NFC South supremacy. But instead, the Falcons played spoiler, and the Bucs have now lost 5 of the last 6 coming out of the bye week. They went from a commanding lead in the NFC South to now 2nd in the division behind, that's right, the Carolina Panthers, just like we all expected, the Carolina Panthers. And now the locker room in Tampa feeling the pressure. Todd Bowles absolutely laid into the team both at the podium and in the locker room. Bowles didn't hold back at all.
It's inexcusable. You don't make excuses. You gotta care enough where the hurts. You gotta care enough where the hurts. It gotta mean something to you. It's more than a job. It's your livelihood. How well do you know your job? How well can you do your job? Well, you can't sugarcoat that. It was inexcusable, and there's no answer for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what you tell them in the locker room. Look in the mirror.
That's seven F-bombs he dropped in the most monotone zone.
Like I said, that's why I would be a defensive coordinator through and through.
That was
Give me
awesome.
a DC any day of the week, man, as my head coach, man. They don't hold anything back.
That was amazing. And Baker Mayfield doubled down on what Bowles said because Bowles apparently went into the locker room and lit them up as well. This is Baker at the podium after the game.
He hit the nail on the head, saying it and questioning, does it mean anything to the guys? Does this hurt enough for you to actually make changes to come in, do the work that you need to do the things that we need to do as a team to get better, fix these things, and win ball games? And he repeated it, and it really is as simple as that. We have talent. Talent doesn't get you though. Doing the work and executing on game days does, and we didn't do that today. Like I said, I did not do that.
Yeah, the whole team really just did not execute when it mattered most. It was a 28-14 lead for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with 9:38 remaining. 15 points scored, unanswered, by the Falcons to win out 29-28. Now, both Bowles, Mayfield, anyone else that had anything to say using curse words probably was right, and they have a point. This was a team going into the bye week, right, at 6-2, and it wasn't some fluky 6-2. They had some impressive wins under their belt going into the bye week. They were heavy favorites to win the NFC South. If you were a betting person, it did not make sense to bet on Tampa because they were that much of a favorite. You just would not have made a lot of money back. People were eyeing them as a dark horse Super Bowl champion. I know I was giving them a second look. I was impressed with how Baker was playing. I was impressed with Emeka Ibuka, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan. I mean, they've got a who's who. Bucky Irving was looking good. Sean Tucker was looking good. But now, after the bye week, they got banged up a little bit. They lost their mojo, and they're 1-5 after the bye week. And now there are a lot of questions swirling around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it does not seem, with the way that Todd Bowles is talking, the way Baker Mayfield is talking, that they have a lot of answers in-house. So what was such a promising start to the season could end up being a season to forget down there in Tampa. All right, let's update you with some other things that happened around the wide world of sports overnight.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update, getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
Last night, it was a Zane Gonzalez walk-off field goal that won it for the Falcons. It was a 29-28 win for Atlanta over the Bucs. Kyle Pitts absolutely went off a career-high 3 receiving touchdowns. Atlanta scored 15 unanswered points over the final 9:38 to win it. Kirk Cousins threw for 373 on 30 of 44, 3 touchdowns as well. Bijan Robinson, 19 carries for 93 yards and a touchdown. Around the NBA last night, the Rockets beat the Clippers 115-113. Thompson had 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. The Bucks got an impressive 116-101 win over the Boston Celtics as Bobby Portis had 27 points and 10 boards. The Pelicans got their 4th win of the season, where defense was optional. The Pelicans took down the Blazers 143-120. And the Nuggets went on the road to Sacramento and took down the Kings 136-105. Jokic had 36, 12, and 8. OKC got a win most recently in their game against the Warriors. The Thunder are now 24-1 and are on pace to have the most regular season wins in NBA history, a record held, as we all know, by the 2015-16 Golden State Warriors at 73. If OKC holds this blistering pace, they would crush that record by at least 5 games. The Warriors are expecting Stephen Curry back tonight from his thigh contusion against the Timberwolves. Steve Kerr said, quote, "It's looking good." Curry skipped the Warriors' recent 3-game road trip, opting to remain in San Fran. He rested. He got treatment. His aim was to get full clearance for Wednesday night's practice, which he did, and now he's expected to go. A 2003-2004 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection Emblems of Endorsements, say that 10 times fast, of Kobe Bryant recently sold for $1.22 million, including buyer's premium with Golden Auctions. It's the 3rd highest public sale for a solo Kobe Bryant card of all time. Around the college football world and the Sun Belt world, Coastal Carolina and Southern Miss Both were in need of new coaches for the upcoming season. The Chanticleers went out and got Ryan Beard from Missouri State. Beard is a 36-year-old coach who guided Missouri State in its transition from FCS to FBS, went 19-16 overall. For Southern Miss, it promoted offensive coordinator Blake Anderson to head coach. He replaces Charles Huff, who left for Memphis. In Indiana land, the Hoosiers will likely be without star defensive end Stephen Daly for the playoffs. The defensive end suffered an injury during the Big Ten championship game post-game. Coach Cignetti told reporters Wednesday that the injury is serious and Daly is probably done for the season. Daly suffered the freak injury while high-fiving fans after the Big Ten championship win. In good news, however, Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza was named Associate Press Player of the Year on Thursday after leading unbeaten and top-ranked Indiana to its first Big Ten championship since 1967 and the number one seed in the college football playoff. And former Dinwiddie General star Harry Dalton announced that he is entering the transfer portal. Dalton spent this last season redshirting with Lincoln Riley at USC, and Dalton will have 4 years of eligibility remaining. The former All-Metro Player of the Year was a 4-star recruit coming out of Dinwiddie and will likely have extensive interest from a number of power programs around the country. So that's what you may have missed around the wide world of sports on this Friday. No guests. We just want to hear from you. 804-327-0888. Because you know what, folks? It is Hot Take Friday, so drop your hot takes on the text line. You can also respond by commenting on our stream on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and we'll read out all of your hot takes on this Hot Take Friday. That's coming up at 9:30. You don't want to miss it because we've got some boiling takes coming up at 9:30 later today. And if you're watching the stream, appreciate you for watching the stream. Be sure to comment, subscribe, like, do all of that fun stuff so that you never miss a single stream. We're every single weekday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're watching the stream, we talked about it when we were here on, Wednesday, because I missed yesterday, was battling a sickness that's come and gone. It's been like a roller coaster up and down. Had to take yesterday off. So we talked about it on Wednesday. We had a different style of hat on. We've got a little corded hat on today from our friends over at Logo Company Apparel. Really cannot stress enough how awesome they are over there and how they got us set up with these fantastic hats. We've got a little bit of everything. Maybe they'll be coming in some giveaways, but we really appreciate the team over at Logo Company Apparel. They are Richmond's imprint experts. This is a fantastic embroidered Fitz the Bill wordmark logo on a quartered hat. It looks fantastic. And if you're looking to give your brand a boost like we did here at Fitz the Bill, Logo Company Apparel, you get small town attention, big time quality, screen printed tees, embroidered polos, custom uniforms, promo items. They can do it all. Awesome hats as well. They work with you to make sure that it is exactly what you want and better, honestly, than what you could have even imagined. They're fast, local, and they've got a personal touch. Need anything for your team, swag for an event, custom apparel that really represents your brand's vibe. Call 804-737-4141, or you can visit them at 3963 Deep Rock Road in Richmond. You can also check them out online, Logo Company Apparel, where your brand looks its best. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. Be back with a little bit of a quick whip around the NFL with some of the biggest games with the most playoff implications around the NFL. You don't want to miss it. Stay locked right here. Fitz the Bill, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
This is advertising material. 3 a.m. You're in the hospital, injured, and you need help now. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys answers 24/7. Accidents don't wait for business hours. Car accidents, truck wrecks, workplace injuries, medical malpractice. Serious injuries require immediate action. Over 250,000 clients represented. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. We fight while you heal. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia. Responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Hi, I'm Julie Monaco, General Manager, Summit Media Richmond. We're looking for driven account managers to join our media sales team here at Summit Media Richmond. Our account managers help local businesses grow through radio, digital, and event marketing. Some people don't just sell, they connect. They see opportunity where others see obstacles. They believe in hard work, big goals, and making a real difference. If you're motivated and ready to make an impact, your future starts here. Apply today on Indeed and take the next step with Summit Media Richmond.
The Down on the Farms Concert Series welcomes Luke Combs UK to the Secure Testing Services Pavilion at the Hanover Vegetable Farm on Saturday, June 20th, 2026. Dust off your hats and boots. Luke Combs UK, the world's leading tribute to Luke Combs and endorsed by the man himself, is coming to town for an unforgettable night of country music. Tickets go on sale this Friday, December 12 at 11 a.m. All details at FOTFconcerts.com. Presented by Premise Bank, B&W Builders, Bud Light, Richmond Ford West, and Ultimate Pools.
Whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
1061 ESPN traffic.
For those of you heading west on 64, we are seeing some delays between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95. Slow-moving traffic heading north on 95 between Murray Street and Broad Street, as well as heading southbound between Bryan Park Interchange and Chamberlain Avenue downtown. And just be aware of an accident on East 4th Street at Stockton Street.
Sports talk that connects Richmond. Bob Black takes you inside the games that matter most. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 for the Mashup Hour and the Sports Huddle on 1061 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports.
I could just let this go all night, all day.
Well, when you hear it, you know it's getting serious.
This is going off on a full tangent. Welcome back in, Fitz the Bill. I would wake up every morning for school, right? And I'd wake up early, and then I'd go back out onto the couch and fall back asleep. Like, this is back, like, in the middle school days and everything. And I would fall asleep listening to that just, like, in the background. You know when you, like, fall asleep after waking up and you're not really fully asleep?
Yeah.
And it would be, like, what was it, Chris Berman? And his, like, and you just, the memories roll back when I hear that song.
Good old Chris Berman.
Whoop!
Yeah,
Whoop.
I couldn't do that.
Whoop! Welcome back in, Fitz the Bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside. Golfers, if you're chasing that perfect mix of distance, feel, and control without emptying your wallet, it's time to level up with Birdie golf balls. That's spelled B1RD1E. These things deliver distance that dominates, right in line with the big name brands you already know. But here's the kicker. You're getting at a price that makes sense. Check it out for yourself at birdiegolf.com. Make the eyes ones, and you'll be there. With tour level spin and control, Birdie gives you the precision you need around the greens, the consistency you want off the tee, and the confidence to attack every single shot. And they're built for every golfer's style, whether you're a weekend warrior grinding to break 80, or you play once every couple of weeks, every couple of months with your friends who drag you out to the course, and you just are there for a good time like myself. They are perfect for you. Premium performance at an honest price. Don't just play golf, play smarter. Play sharper, play birdie. Check them out for yourself at birdiegolf.com. That's B1RD1E golf.com. So, the game I want to start with here, and it's the game I think everyone's talking about because it is the craziest game we have gotten in the NFL in quite some time. We've got a 44-year-old playing in the National Football League. That's not the crazy part. We've got a 44-year-old that retired from the game of football in 2020. We've got a literal grandparent, Alan, playing in the NFL this weekend. A literal grandparent. What are we? Now, I get it. He may not start. There's still questions on whether or not he would start, but he's been practicing, and all the reports coming out of Indy seem like good old Phillip Rivers will be starting. It feels like at this point, if you're a grandfather, he's no longer Phillip Rivers. He's Phil, just Phil. That feels like a 44-year-old man's name.
I really have no idea what's going on. I saw some clips, I think NFL.com or somebody put on, that's affiliated with the NFL, put on from the practice facility of him throwing. Man, again, same thing I said last hour. I just hope he doesn't get hurt. I never wish that on anybody. I hope he doesn't play. I really do.
I agree, because the Colts are setting him up for failure facing off against the Seahawks defense.
Dude, the Seahawks defense is going to set him on fire.
Like you saw what they did to Max Brosmer. Now, Max Brosmer is at least mobile. At least he can move around.
Max Brosmer, is it Brosmer or Brosmer?
Brosmer.
All right. So Brosmer's at least in the game.
Yes,
I know
yes,
Phillip Rivers is a
yes.
legend. I know Phillip Rivers is a potential Hall of Famer.
Well, he's a semifinalist. And if he plays, if he gets activated to the active roster ahead of this game, he's going to have to wait another 5 years to be named to the Hall of Fame.
Which I'm sure for him probably doesn't matter because he's going to get in regardless. I think he'll get in regardless.
You think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer? I don't think he is.
I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think we've diluted the first ballot Hall of Famer status a little bit with some other people we've allowed in. It'd probably be hard to keep him out.
Can I throw another question at you?
Yeah.
Is he his era's Dan Marino?
No. I don't think so. I think because
he never won a Super Bowl.
Well, his big moments in the playoffs and stuff were never, to me, winning moments. Like he played awful, basically.
Yeah, the moments you think of with Phillip Rivers in the playoffs is, he played really poorly, but it was on a torn ACL that one time.
Yeah, so like in Peyton Manning's case, before he got his Super Bowl rings, he played well enough to win. He just got beat by better teams, right? Like, you felt bad for him.
Kind of like Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can't feel bad for Phillip Rivers, man. he was really bad in the playoffs. But I'm worried that even Phillip Rivers doesn't understand the speed of today's NFL, man.
He's been really fun and engaging at the podium.
Oh yeah, he's always been a good personality.
But I don't think he knows what's coming for him if he starts this game against the Seahawks. I don't think he's going to be all happy-go-lucky when it's at the end of the game and he's at the podium following a loss. He's like, "Oh, dadgummit, it's good to be here." That ain't going. He's not going to feel that way after he gets hit 15 times by DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Murphy, Uchenna Nwosu, you name it. They're coming after him. He is going to be in for a world of hurt. You're going to see Nick Eamon-Warry just on some crazy stunts coming in and just popping Phillip Rivers. He is going to be in for a world of hurt. I am genuinely worried for Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I'm genuinely worried. Like he said jokingly, doesn't matter his size because it wasn't like he was running away from guys when he was in his prime, and he's right. But like the body of an NFL quarterback and an active player is used to that, right? They get accustomed with it. Like I refuse to believe anybody. This could be Phillip Rivers at 28, could not take 5 years off and come back, and there not be like an alarm sounded. Yeah. So, I mean, we were concerned for Aaron Rodgers, and he was like a season removed because of his injury, but he was a season removed, and we're like, how's his body gonna hold up? This dude's 5 years out the league, man, and he's 44. and again, the Colts as a franchise, you use Jeff Saturday as a head coach with zero experience, and now you're using that was what, like 2-3 years ago, and now you're using a 44-year-old quarterback. I don't know, man. I don't know what they could have done either.
I mean, there's better options out there on the free agent market. But did you see
Sam Ehlinger told them no? He's on the practice squad for the Broncos and chose to stay on the practice squad for the Broncos rather than go to the Colts.
I mean, I don't blame him because with the Broncos, he's got a chance at a Super Bowl, right?
Man,
I mean, he's not
your practice squad.
He's not going to win one, but he's looking at it and he goes, I'm probably cut at the end of the year here with the practice squad. I'll at least probably have a chance to stick around for at least another year. Maybe I get a Super Bowl.
You could go practice squad with the Colts and potentially play tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, not tomorrow, but Sunday.
Yeah, but I mean, they got other options outside of Sam Ehlinger who said no. Like, you see Cam Newton on his podcast?
I'm not paying attention to Cam, man. I don't want to be mean about it. I like Cam. I'm a fan. We've actually rubbed elbows in some spaces before. Cool dude. But let's be real, man. Be real about where you stand in the league right now, and the prospect of you getting back on the field. But also, yeah, you would be a better option than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, that's the part. Like, and we saw Cam Newton when he last played. What was that, in 21, 22, whenever the last time he played? He didn't even look all that great, but he's better than Phillip Rivers. He is better than Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is going to get crushed. And Phillip Rivers, even at the tail end of his career, was looking like he was washed a little bit. Now he's been out of the league for however many years. He's 44 years old. It's gonna be a rough time there in Philly. Wait, where is it being played? It's being played in Seattle. It's gonna be a rough time in Seattle. I feel for Philly. Why do I keep saying Philly? Fill up. Maybe that's his nickname.
Fill up.
Philly Phillip.
Philly Phillip.
Philly Phillip. Other games around the league, we've got Ravens-Bengals, a 1 p.m. kick. Look, this is a game for the Ravens. They've got one more showdown with the Steelers. That loss to the Steelers on Sunday really impacted their playoff probabilities. I love playoff probabilities, but they've still got a showdown in Pittsburgh to finish out the season, and that is the game that's really going to make or break this season. They've got to beat the Bengals, though, starting this Sunday. And the Bengals, they look like a brand new team after bringing back Joe Burrow. Their offense is firing on all cylinders, and the Ravens just have not been all that good in quite some time. They put up 22 points on Sunday. They already lost to the Bengals at home in what some Ravens fans were calling one of the worst performances of the Harbaugh era. That was on Thanksgiving. It was a 32-14 win for the Bengals, and that marked the return of Joe Burrow. Since that game, 32 points against the Ravens, 34 points in a losing effort against the Bills. But for all intents and purposes, the Bengals should have won that game. And now the Ravens are essentially in a must-win spot where the Bengals are just really trying to play spoiler. They're not. I don't think they're mathematically eliminated just yet, but they are all but eliminated, less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. So Bengals are in a spoiler role, and for the Ravens, they need to figure something out. Lamar Jackson, he had a rest day yesterday getting ready for this game in what is a hugely important AFC North showdown. Baltimore, a 2.5-point favorite somehow.
Yeah, the issue here, like I said, the storyline is going to be Joe Burrow and what he said and the hints of maybe early retirement. And, every time that comes up, we throw out the Andrew Luck comparison. I am concerned that somebody of his talent level would even think of that. The primary concern there is because the game of football is so hyper competitive that when you're at the top and you're a quarterback, you have to be crazier than crazy, right? You got to live, breathe this thing. Like football is your life type stuff. That's what you want to see too from the leader of your team, especially at the quarterback position. And that reluctance, hesitation, or even the transparency to be like, yeah, I've thought about it. And he's not even, is he just 30 or just turning 30 or is he even
Burrow?
close? Yeah, how old is he?
He may be like 28,
28, 29?
He's 29.
All right,
he does turn 30. He just turned 29.
Okay, so he turns 30 next year? Yeah, so like most quarterbacks are entering into their peak prime at this spot, right? Like this is,
and he is like, that's the thing. Like,
so it's crazy to hear him say that.
If you didn't hear what he said, Joe Burrow spoke to the media on his 29th birthday 2 days ago and had some very introspective comments. This was Joe Burrow at the podium 2 days ago.
No, it certainly doesn't change my desire to win.
Doesn't sound convincing.
I mean, these long pauses
if
say
I want
a lot.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for?
I would push back and say you're doing it for the multiple millions of dollars that you're getting hit to your bank account every year. But I do get what he's saying. I do understand
for
what
sure.
he's saying.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes money can't make you but so happy.
Yes, the old saying goes, money can't buy you happiness.
I hope to experience that unhappiness one day.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to sit at a podium with millions of dollars in my wallet. Heck, even thousands of dollars in my wallet.
Hundreds of dollars.
Shoot, tens of dollars at this point.
But
he then later on said there's just a lot of things going on right now. So maybe he's just going through a bad breakup or
mean, maybe there's that. But
if you look at what he has gone through,
it might be too soon. But bad breakups have made some people go off the deep end here lately. So I would would err on the side of caution with that too.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, with Joe Burrow, if you look at what he has gone through, starts his career with that gruesome injury at FedEx Field where he tore almost every single ligament in his knee. He missed a large portion of time, one of the other training camps with appendicitis. That's just dumb luck, but he had to recover from that. He had the wrist injury 2 seasons ago. Then last year he came back and had the best season a quarterback has had in quite some time, but his team was absolutely abysmal. So they missed the playoffs because his defense can't stop a nosebleed. Not only that, one of the games he was playing his house got broken into because he was part of the string of a ton of break-ins of high-profile athletes that were playing in prime time. He has been through a lot. So I wouldn't put it off the table that we might get Joe Burrow Andrew Lucked. Like, he may Andrew Luck us.
Yeah, and that would be awful, man.
It would be awful because he could go down, and people might call me crazy for saying this, but if he finishes out a solid 15-year career, I see him winning at least one Super Bowl, and I think he goes down as one of the top 3 best quarterbacks of this era. I think it's him, not in this order specifically, but I think the 3 quarterbacks we will remember from this era, if Burrow plays it out, it's Burrow, it's Mahomes, and it's maybe 4, Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, he's a player in this era, and he's one of the guys, or one of the few that can say that he, at one point, was the best quarterback in the league and had beat Mahomes and Allen. I mean, not Mahomes and Allen, Mahomes and Jackson and everybody.
He still has that capability.
Yeah,
he's Joe Cool for a reason.
I don't know, but like I said, I know we're talking about Ravens Bengals, but that has to be the storyline. Like, forget the game. Hold on, what about our quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, for the Bengals, you kind of want to, not kind of, you want to put your best foot forward, show Joe that, like, hey, the pieces are put together. And this also adds a really interesting component to it all. Do the Bengals stick with Zach Taylor? Like,
well, I've said all along he needs to be fired.
Well, no, what I'm saying is if Joe Burrow likes Zach Taylor, do you stick with him to try and keep some consistency and try to keep your quarterback happy? Like, if there's an ultimatum behind the scenes that goes, hey, it's either I'm retiring if you fire Zach Taylor or I'll stick around if you keep Zach Taylor. Does he have enough sway in the organization for them to keep Zach Taylor? I mean, these are real questions that I think have to be asked behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that if all it takes for me to keep my quarterback happy is to keep the coach, then the coach got to stay.
That's true. That's true. If that's the only thing that keeps Joe Burrow from retiring, then heck yeah, Zach Taylor. What line do you want to sign here, and how much money do you want?
Yeah, man. I mean, that would be the ultimate endorsement for Zach Taylor. But I think they need to move on from him, honestly. And in this particular game, the Bengals, one thing I will give them credit for later in the season, they always compete. And
almost competes themselves out of good draft picks.
Yeah, so I expect them to continue to compete, and this will be a good game, but the Ravens win in the end.
Yes. All right, let's get a quick break in here. We'll step aside. We'll return with some news or snooze. That's America's favorite segment. So stick around right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
The Bentelli Holiday Sales Event is on now through December 24th. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of holiday cheer and gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. Contact us at richmondlsv.com or text 363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/trust to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/trust for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/trust for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/trust. See representative for warranty details.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
When the Eagles' offense looks wrong is when they're right. Every complaint was correct based on the way the offense looked, but that's how they win. When they looked wrong, they were right. Now, when they're trying to look right, they go wrong. Every time the offense looks bad, previously, is when they have actually won games.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday mornings starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
It's currently 30 degrees and cloudy with a high today of 41 and a low of 27. We're expecting overcast skies to continue throughout the rest of the morning and into early afternoon, with the sun starting to poke out around 3 p.m. Little to no wind chill today, but taking a look at tomorrow, temperatures will be rising slightly with a high of 51, cloudy skies, and a 50% chance of rain on Sunday with a high of 39.
Lake Lewis is part of Raisin Hill coverage, and every Tuesday he joins Fitz the Bill for insider reports, film breakdowns, and Commanders news. Only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond. News.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
Sharon Moore, expected in court today, remains in custody.
This one's newsworthy.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
And typically these are like funny, lighthearted. This one's a little bit more serious than our typical news or snooze types of topics. Because if you stopped following along after he was fired by Michigan, what was that, on Wednesday, then you've missed quite a bit throughout this story. He was fired with cause from Michigan. He was fired for violating university policy by engaging in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. A statement from the school said head football coach Sharon Moore has been terminated with cause effective immediately. Following a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. The university initially investigated Sharon Moore in the fall, at the beginning of the fall, after receiving a tip about the situation, but there was no credible evidence of wrongdoing. That's what a source told ESPN. More information, however, came forward on Wednesday that the source said was, quote, overwhelming, and that led to Moore's immediate dismissal. And now on top of that, he's a suspect in an assault case. The Pittsfield police released a statement Wednesday night saying they responded at 4:10 p.m. to the 3000 block of Ann Arbor Saline Road, quote, for the purposes of investigating an alleged assault. A suspect in this case was taken into custody. This incident does not appear to be random in nature, and there appears to be no ongoing threat to the community. No additional information has been released by the police department regarding this matter. Some interesting breadcrumbs have been dropped along. Nicole Auerbach of NBC Sports is reporting that Michigan had been alerted prior to Wednesday that Moore was dealing with mental health issues, yet Ward Manuel fired him alone with no HR rep and no security present. So just a very interesting situation unfolding up in Ann Arbor with Sharon Moore. We keep it locked to see how this very newsworthy story is going to unfold up there.
Yeah, it's was one of those things where I even text you. I was like, I told you Sharon was going to get
we
fired.
We both texted each other at the same time. We said, oh, good thing they got rid of him. That offense was bad. And then,
like 20 seconds later, it was like, wait a minute.
It was like, oh, this isn't fired for being a bad coach. This is fired for something very serious. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Ravens Jackson defends taking rest day before Bengals game.
Snoozeworthy. Have you seen the injuries this man has dealt with this year?
Well, I mean, honestly, like I said, this time of year, they need the rest. Yes.
Well, that and like also Lamar every single week, it seems like is popping up on the injury report for something new. Hip, ankle, chest, sickness, whatever it might be. Lamar's just like on the injury report for something new each and every week. And so, yeah, give him some rest. I don't get why people are upset at him for taking the rest in the first place. Like, yeah, he needs it. He's banged up. He's been taking a huge hit, and he's playing through a pretty impactful hamstring injury. They need that. He needs the rest. He said, quote, I feel like rest is one of the most important things when you're recovering from any injury. Jackson said that yesterday post-practice. And the thing with Lamar Jackson is he has not just been recovering from one injury. He's recovering from a multitude of injuries. He's missed at least one practice in each of the past 4 weeks due to various injuries, knee, ankle, toe. But this was the first time he's been designated as a rest day. So, interesting.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous to get upset that he's taking a rest. Whatever.
Yes.
All right. Phillip Rivers can join exclusive list of grandparents active in professional sports.
Newsworthy.
Extra, read all about it.
I got some numbers to throw at you real quick before we go over the other grandparents.
Okay, let's do it.
Tyler Warren was 1 year old when Rivers was drafted.
That's crazy.
Rivers' eldest daughter is 23 years old. Older than Riley Leonard, who played in place of the injured Daniel Jones last week. And he's starting a football game. Good, allegedly. We'll see if it actually comes true. Riley Leonard might beat him out in practice. Also, what does this say about Riley Leonard? Brother, it might be time for you to hang up your cleats. Like, I don't know, man. If you're getting beaten out by a 44-year-old QB who hasn't played in the NFL since 2020, maybe you're just not good enough. I don't mean to be rude.
Nah, I would agree. I think we need to have a sit down, buddy. There are concerns.
Yeah, brother, we need to figure some stuff out. So, Phillip Rivers is joining an exclusive list. This list is made up of Brett Favre, Stan Musial, Robert Parrish, Julio Franco, and Gordie Howe, all as grandparents to play a professional game. Stan Musial, he hit a home run in the game after his grandkid was born. I wonder if Phillip Rivers, granted, Phillip Rivers' grandkid is now like 1 year old, which is also the crazier part of all of this. Those other guys were like, oh, a newborn in my last year of playing. This is like a 1 year old for Phillip Rivers as a grandkid that he's playing with. Probably the oldest grandkid for an active football player.
Yeah, when you put it in perspective with Tyler Warren, I hadn't even thought about that.
You look at the average age of the Colts. Most of them were under the age of 4 when Phillip Rivers was drafted. They were not in the portion of their life where they remember Phillip Rivers being drafted. They don't know that Phillip Rivers was drafted by the Giants and there was an Eli Manning draft day trade forced by Arch Manning.
You know, it's funny that, like, now that you mention it,
your facial expression, you're just like no, trying to take it in.
I forget about the newest generation of athlete and what they haven't seen. There's a clip, not to go off on a tangent either, but it's within their division. But there's a clip of D'Amico Ryan's team, his defensive players, looking at clips of D'Amico when he was at Alabama.
And they're like, what?
And they're like, man, coach was a dog. And I'm like, what? And I had to remember, I'm 40. These guys are like 21.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they probably don't know anything about D'Amico Ryans. But I'm like, he kind of got the whole linebacker U thing started back up at Alabama. Like, you just thought he was just a good coach. Like, he's never talked to you about what he's done. It's just strange.
The craziest thing, not craziest thing, but also it's wild that in Phillip Rivers' last game, he was handing the ball off to, I believe, was a rookie Jonathan Taylor, who is now a 3-time All-Pro.
He's probably like, dude, you're back.
Hey, man, long time no see. Where you been? That was a long IR stint, wasn't it? That's all he was doing. We were giving Lamar Jackson a lot of grief for taking one rest day. Phillip Rivers took a 4-year rest day. Come on now. He's bounced back. He's ready to go.
He's good to go.
But yeah, it is just, he's going to get lit up. And you know how Anthony Richardson had to sub himself out of a game because he was tired? This is going to be Phillip Rivers subbing himself out of the game because he took a big hit. He's going to be like, oh, dadgummit, that one hurt. I've got to go take a breather real quick.
You know what I want, though? I want him mic'd up. I need him mic'd up.
1,000. Even if he's on the sideline, you know he's mic'd up.
I need him mic'd up. Come on, NFL Films. Make it happen.
Do it. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. We've got to talk a little bit about the massive NASCAR settlement that happened yesterday because it is going to send shockwaves through the sport, and it all is because of Chesterfield native Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, 2311 Front Row Motorsports. It was massive yesterday. We'll break that down on the other side.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
Richmond's history begins with the James River. Our water system began in the 1830s with iron and lead pipes. Nearly 200 years later, the original water lines are being replaced to ensure that our water remains clean, safe, and reliable. As part of a nationwide effort, we need to know the material of every one service line. Please help by taking our water service line survey. Learn more about the city's lead-free water program at rva.gov/public-utilities or call 646-8600. DPU and you. Let's get the lead out.
At American Red Cross, we depend on your end-of-year donations to provide relief during emergencies and care for families in need. Visit redcross.org to make a donation that will change a life.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
I don't know how good the Chargers are, but I know they're 60 minutes of hell. Jim Harbaugh always finds the best way to get the best out of his players. And this injury, Justin Herbert, they're like, look, we're just going out there and play ball. So I don't know how good the Chargers are, but I do know this. If you play them in the playoffs, you may beat them, but you may lose the next game because that's 60 minutes of hell.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Amber and Ian.
I have had this discussion with many a parent, anybody who tells me that on a day in, day out basis, you don't have a favorite child, you're full of crap. Tell me right now, who's your favorite kid today?
My favorite kid today? I don't know if I have one today.
That's a blatant lie. I'm looking right at you.
Amber and Ian, weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily 3 to 4 p.m. pit stop for unfiltered sports takes, statewide debate, and no-holds-barred analysis. Richmond's game, Matt's lane. Don't miss it.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill here on this Friday morning, getting you set for the weekend. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside as we head on out to the NASCAR world, as there was a huge settlement reached yesterday as Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, the co-owners of 2311, and the owners of Front Row Motorsports, they were suing NASCAR in an antitrust lawsuit. And NASCAR and the team owners came together yesterday, right as the 9th day of trial began, and they reached a settlement that truly shakes up the sport. A complete change, a complete overhaul to the charter system, which is how teams get into NASCAR essentially and get a guaranteed cut of the revenue. That's been completely changed, and the overall settlement numbers, while not officially released, are likely going to be huge. Denny Hamlin, he was caught up yesterday after the settlement was announced. This is from Matt Weaver's Twitter account. This is Denny Hamlin on his thoughts following the settlement.
I feel like everything within the settlement is going to grow the sport, and it's going to be better for everyone. There's no doubt about it.
All right, thank y'all.
And he's not wrong. It is going to be better for everyone in the sport because now, essentially, NASCAR has agreed to one of the major points that 2311 and Front Row Motorsports were pushing for: permanent charters. Prior to the settlement, teams had to purchase a charter from NASCAR just to be eligible, essentially, to race. Each week, there were 4 what they called open spots that could be given to non-charter teams. So in theory, you could put together a car, which you had to buy all of the parts from NASCAR-approved vendors. You could put together a car, you could take it out there, you could not have a charter, and you could try and qualify for one of those 4 open spots. But it was not guaranteed, and the only way to guarantee entry into a full schedule was to have that charter. The charter also guaranteed portions of the NASCAR revenue stream, and one of the key points that was a sticking point really for 2311 and Front Row Motorsports was the fact that NASCAR could revoke those charters from the respective teams at any point. And think of the charters as franchises, how the NFL, the NBA, the MLS, the MLB, all of them, they are franchises. They are essentially saying that you have to purchase a franchise to play in NASCAR, fair, but at any point, for whatever we seem necessary, we can revoke your charter for whatever reason we want. Now they are permanent. Now they are not revocable at any point, and there is expected to be a larger portion of revenue sharing between NASCAR and the charters. An economist, there we go, that's a tough word, previously testified that NASCAR owed 2311 and Front Row Motorsports $364.7 million in damages, and that economist also said that NASCAR shorted 36 charter teams a combined $1.06 billion with a B from 2021 to 2024. So the settlement also will likely include some money going from NASCAR to the charter teams. The specifics of the settlement outside of the permanent charter system have not been released. Rick Hendrick, one of the most successful team owners in all of NASCAR history, said, quote, "Millions of loyal NASCAR fans and thousands of hardworking people rely on our industry, and today's resolution allows us to focus on what truly matters, the future of our sport. This moment presents an important opportunity to strengthen our relationships and recommit ourselves to building a collaborative and prosperous future for all stakeholders. I'm incredibly optimistic about what's ahead." Of note, in this, during the discovery portion of the trial, 2311 and Front Row Motorsports said they have lost millions upon millions of dollars since starting a team due to the structure that NASCAR has imposed on it. So I would imagine part of this settlement as well will go towards fixing that. The settlement, it came quickly and abruptly. They had gone through 8 days of trial. There was a discovery period. All of that during the discovery period, it was found out that NASCAR executives were kind of talking bad about the other teams behind everyone's back. That was a huge moment. And then on the 9th day of trial, abruptly, the judge overseeing everything opened up, expecting to hear the motions, but both sides asked to have private conference in chambers. When they emerged, they then went to an hour-long break that turned into a 2-hour break. And then when they finally returned, it was announced that an agreement was reached. NASCAR and the plaintiffs put out a joint statement yesterday saying what all parties have agreed on is a deep love for the sport and a desire to see it fulfill its full potential. This is a landmark moment, one that ensures NASCAR's foundation is stronger, its future is brighter, and its possibilities are greater. So a huge shakeup yesterday in NASCAR. And now fans, I think fans for the most part are glad that these permanent charters have been agreed upon. This kind of drama that had been being kind of just held over NASCAR is now behind it. But what a lot of fans are starting to get upset about is just how the executives of NASCAR went through this entire process. Because the biggest sticking point was the permanent charters, and NASCAR kind of had this arrogant air about them that they were better than that. They didn't need to that. They weren't going to succumb to the demands of some of the teams. And then in the end, they end up just settling 9 days into court, and almost every single team owner is happy. And every single team owner was saying the only reason they signed that charter agreement when it was put in front of them back in 2024 was because they felt that they had a gun to their head, that if they didn't do it, they would have their charters revoked. And NASCAR did eventually revoke the charters of 2311 due to this lawsuit, but now they'll get them back. Front Row Motorsports, they'll all have their charters back on a permanent basis, and it is a huge, huge shakeup to how it's all done. So really, really interesting stuff over there in the NASCAR world, and we'll see if more stuff kind of floats out from the settlement. We're trying to catch up with Jeff Gluck, Jordan Bianchi, Bob Pockrass, any of the major NASCAR beat writers to chat about exactly what this settlement will mean. So keep it locked. That's likely to come sometime next week. We're really excited to get one of them on the show to kind of dive in, get through all the legal mumbo jumbo, and really tell us exactly how this is going to be played out and how the permanent charter system will go into place in NASCAR. We got a text in, 804-327-0888. It's a fantasy question on this Friday. The question is, it's playoffs, and every point matters. This guy's streaming defense for the week, and he asks, 49ers against the Titans, Bears against the Browns, or the Browns against the Bears? And I got to go 49ers defense against the Titans. You got to go 49ers defense against the Titans. Cam Ward, he gets sacked a lot. He's more likely to throw a couple of turnovers. I know they're coming off of the good game this last week where they won. However, I just don't think that they have really consistency in that locker room. And I think the 49ers defense will be able to generate enough pressure to force Cam Ward into a couple of turnovers. I'm a little worried Shador might be able to light a flame against the Bears defense, and the Bears offense should be able to at least put up a couple of points against the Browns defense. I think your best shot is playing for the turnover game. I don't trust the rookie quarterback against a good 49ers defense, so give me the 49ers defense in that one. Couple other fantasy questions in our text inbox as well. We'll get to them in hour number 2, so stay with us right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Hey, Richmond, looking for more Fitz the Bill content and behind-the-scenes looks into the show? Well, follow us on Instagram at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA. You'll get all of the clips, exclusive hot takes, and so much more. Follow us at Fitz the Bill ESPN RVA on Instagram.
Your trash is treasure at CNC Colored Recycling. From copper wire to radiator ends, cans to lead batteries, CNC Colored Recycling will pay cash or check for your unwanted scrap metal. No load is too large or too small. Don't dump it, recycle it, and get paid at CNC Colored Recycling, just south of Maple Street on Route 1 in Ashland. Free local container services available too. CNC Colored Recycling, open every weekday and a half day on Saturday. Check the latest cash scrap prices online right now at cccullet.com. That's CCCULLET.
The Bentelli Holiday Sales Event is on now through December 24th. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Richmond LSV is a proud supporter of holiday cheer and gear on December 4th at Henrico Sports and Events Center. Contact us at richmondlsv.com or text 363-4351. Fun, fully charged.
This is advertising material. 3 a.m. You're in the hospital, injured, and you need help now. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys answers 24/7. Accidents don't wait for business hours. Car accidents, truck wrecks, workplace injuries, medical malpractice. Serious injuries require immediate action. Over 250,000 clients represented. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. We fight while you heal. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia. Responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Virginia 23510.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
If you're Kevin O'Connell, you say to yourself, man, do I need to alter some things to tailor it towards J.J. McCarthy?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have the number one receiver in the league. You have a good number two in Jordan Addison. You have a TJ Hawkinson. Like, you have the surrounding pieces around this young guy. You just need him to play better.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
The second hour of Fitz the Bill is brought to you by Birdie Golf. Tired of paying premium prices for big-name golf balls that overpromise and underdeliver? Step up your game with Birdie Golf. Learn more about a local company at birdiegolf.com. Change out the I's for ones, and you're there. That's B1RD1E golf.com. Birdie Golf.
You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 on this Friday morning. We're just an hour away from wrapping up and kicking our feet up for the weekend. I'm heading out to JMU tomorrow as Highland Springs takes on Maury in the Class 5 state championship. Allen's going to be out at Liberty as Verina takes on Loudoun County in the Class 4 state championship. That one kicks off at a bright and early 11:30 a.m. That one should be fun. Both should be fantastic. I love like advanced analytics, like Sports Plug 757. They're an account on Instagram that does a lot of high school coverage. They do a great job with it as well. But somehow they have metrics to determine the likelihood of teams winning the state championship. And according to their numbers, Verina has a 100% chance to beat Loudoun County. I want to know where they're getting their numbers.
Yeah, I don't think anything is 100%.
I don't think anything is.
But I know the expectation is a win for Verina.
They have something to prove, and that's been their entire mantra this entire season.
We need to have a competition. I'm gonna post the temperature at kickoff.
Okay, you want me to?
Yeah, let's see who has the coldest game.
I think mine will be colder because mine loses sun.
You would think yours
loses sun.
Yeah, you would think yours would be colder at kickoff. But here's the thing, being underneath Candler's Mountain, if I catch the wrong wind, the wind chill out there is so ridiculous.
Alan, you're talking like you're from Western Virginia now.
I know.
If I catch the right wind from underneath the mountain,
I'm telling you,
things are going to get real chilly.
No, it's different. It's a different cold, which obviously they know that out JMU. That's why I think it'll probably be about the same. But I've already got my my outfit taken care of, man.
Good.
I'm not going to get cold.
I got my outfit taken care of. I had a dry run for it at the Sun Belt Championship when it was 20 degrees. I'm convinced that's what got me a little sick, standing outside in the freezing cold for 4 hours in 20-degree temperatures with some snow around. I'm convinced that's what got me sick. But those games are tomorrow. We're going out to them. Follow along, Fitz the Bill, ESPN RVA, so you won't miss any of our coverage. We'll have live in-game highlights. We'll have post-game interviews. We'll have everything in between. And we really appreciate Ortho Virginia, Dave & Buster's, and Short Pump for being our sponsors for all of our high school coverage this season. H-Dog LLC as well for sponsoring our food reviews. Maybe next week, with the state championships wrapped, we will give out our number one team, our number one concession stand from the season that was, because I'm not rating JMU's concession stand. They don't count. They're college level. They should have it down on lock. But next week we'll reveal our Fitz the Bill food reviews. That's a tongue twister every time I say it. Our top 5 in our Fitz the Bill food reviews from all of the high schools we went to this entire season. Unfortunately, I never made it out to a Verina game at Verina. I've heard good things about their food, but unfortunately, they're just not in it. So we'll break that down next week as well. We're really excited to make it out for state championships for our Talk of the Town games of the week. We got to answer a couple of fantasy football questions here. Right before hour 1 ended, we answered which defense should this texter stream, 49ers taking on the Titans, Bears taking on the Browns, or let's flip it on its head, the Browns taking on the Bears. I believe 49ers, Titans. I think the 49ers defense will be able to force more turnovers. We got a second question from the same texter, 804-327-0888. It is Hot Take Friday, so you want to get your hot takes in now. He asked, should he go with Matthew Stafford this week or Lamar Jackson? And all I've got to say to that is over the last 4 weeks of football, Lamar Jackson has scored over 20 points. Heck, over the last 5 weeks of football, Lamar Jackson has scored over 20 points just once. Whereas Matthew Stafford over the past 5 weeks has scored over 20 points 3 times. Lamar Jackson, since the bye week, has been a lot more boom or bust as well. He missed the first game back out of the bye week against the Chicago Bears. At Miami, he scored 25.6. At Minnesota, 16.6. At Cleveland, it was 6.7 fantasy points. Jets, 7.2. Bengals on Thanksgiving, the same Bengals defense he'll be facing off against here on Sunday. He scored 7.5. And against the Steelers, he got back above 20 with 22.1. But that's big time, boom or bust ability. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, gives you at least some level of confidence that he will score just around, 13 points or more. Since his bye week, coming out of week 8, he scored 26.8, 26.9, 13.2, 22.9, 13.6, 23.2. I would go with Matthew Stafford. Stafford is a much more consistent quarterback this season, and if you're able to withstand boom or bust ability, then go Lamar. But I'm not a guy, especially in the playoffs, who can withstand boom or bust ability. That's just not how my team is built. So I would go with Matthew Stafford. If I had those two in my lineup right now, I would go Matthew Stafford. I'll even say this, a guy that I do not trust because he's too boom or bust, it's Justin Jefferson. I've got Justin Jefferson in my Dynasty League. He's on my bench this week, so that should give you a peek into how my mind works when it comes to fantasy football. I want a guy who I know can get me what is expected out of him. If he goes for more than that, that's awesome. I don't want a guy who's going to underperform. And Lamar Jackson very much is in the camp of potentially underperforming. He had a good start to the season, but then when he got hurt, things started to come apart. And since coming back from his injury, he just has not been the same QB. And I don't think last week was a indication that he's back to where he was. He's finished as the QB 15 or worse 4 times over the last 5 weeks. And if you go back to the last 7 games he has played, he has finished QB 15 or worse in 5 of his last 7 games he has played. So I don't love that.
Yeah, so Lamar Jackson, honestly, I think the issue with him is more so on the play calling. So Monken and him still just don't seem like they've got a good feel for what they need to do. Like Monken and him just are not on the same page sometimes.
Monken and him just seem like they don't know exactly what his injury is inhibiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like last year they were on the same page. Lamar had the most touchdowns of any player in the NFL. But I mean, I don't know.
I would anticipate that you're going to see more Derrick Henry than anything else in this game. This just seems like it'll be a game less about Lamar doing everything and more about just preserving him for the games later on in the season, because they need to win, but they're not going for style points.
Yes. So I would go with Matthew Stafford, and I think that's a very easy one to do because I just do not trust Lamar Jackson. All right, so last night was Thursday Night Football. We got a great NFC South showdown last night, and not a lot at stake in terms of playoffs for one of the teams. A lot was at stake for the Buccaneers last night as they fell in heartbreaking fashion. It was a 28-14 lead for Tampa Bay last night with 9:38 to go. And they lost the game. With 9:38 to go, Bijan Robinson finds the end zone, cuts into the lead just a little bit. Then, following that touchdown, it was a 7-yard pass from Cousins to Kyle Pitts to make it 28-26. The 2-point conversion failed. That was with 3:34 remaining. 3:34 remaining. And all the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had to do was bleed out a little bit of time. And what did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? An impressive, and dare I say, very impressive, 6-play, 8-yard drive. Now, how in the heck do you do that? You got 6 plays, you go 8 yards, you eat up only a minute 45, and things just fell apart for Tampa. And in the postgame, Todd Bowles, Baker Mayfield, they were apoplectic. Did I use that word correctly? They were apoplectic.
I believe he did.
Thank you. Over how the entire game went down and how this team has just been completely, just beaten down coming out of their bye week. This was a team 6-2 going into the bye. Coming out of the bye, they have won just 1 game and have lost 5. And all of a sudden, things are in, extreme DEFCON 5 mode over there in Tampa because Carolina's got a huge shot at really getting a vice grip on this division. They've got the Saints this weekend, and then guess who they got next weekend? They're at home against the Panthers. And so just like that, the Panthers are at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just like that, Carolina could go from tied in the NFC South to a 2-game lead with the tiebreaker. This is a huge swing for Carolina as they look to really strengthen their hold on the NFC South. All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We've got Raven Rob on line 1. Good morning, Raven Rob. I had a feeling we'd be hearing from you as we were putting out the Ravens bat signal talking about Lamar.
So let's piggyback off of that. So first off, I want to touch base on the, who do you want to start, Matthew Stafford or Lamar Jackson? Now, yeah, I don't want to be biased, but this week I would start Jackson. And that's just if you look at the history of them playing the Bengals. Every year, Joe Burrow has one great game, and then Lamar dominates. So they go back and forth, right? So obviously Cincinnati got the first one. Lamar's a little injured. Play calling hasn't been that great. Derrick Henry, once he gets going, that opens up a lot in the pass game. Now, we do have some receivers, whether you want to talk about Andrews or Zay Flowers actually had a good game last week. But we've been having a lot of drops. Isaiah Likely, getting touchdowns.
Oh, my goodness. He has more missed touchdowns than touchdowns, it feels like. In the biggest moments, too. The Week 1 Chiefs game last year, and then that one against the Steelers. Come on, Likely.
You can even bring up Zay Flowers. Was it last year? He got hit right there at the end zone. Tackled at the 1-yard line and fumbled out of the end zone. So this week, I really believe Lamar Jackson will outperform on Matthew Stafford, and that's just because Stafford's playing Detroit. Detroit, not a very, very good defense, but they're very solid. So I definitely think that Lamar Jackson, and I'll call back in on Monday, to kind of get my victory talk. But he will outperform and get more points. Then let's jump to the defensive side. You were talking about San Francisco, Cleveland, and Chicago. I will say, if Rome Odunze is still out for Chicago, then I think that the Browns will put up more points than San Francisco. Cam Ward is starting to look better. He's getting really in sync with his receivers. They're actually calling plays that benefit his style of play. You can see it from the last couple weeks. So if Rome Odunze is out, that really only leaves Moore. Moore's not really been doing anything for the past couple of years. We can all agree on that. Yeah. The only solid thing that they really have, Swift is okay, but that McGunn guy, that's who they're going to have to stop, is that McGunn guy. And, again, if Rome is not playing, I will take Browns 9 points, maybe 10 points in fantasy.
All right, that's a bold one. That is a bold one because Caleb has been playing well. Rome Odunze's health is a big question because he's been dealing with a foot injury. He was a late scratch. He's questionable to go. He was limited in practice yesterday. I will be intrigued. I just like a 49ers defense against a rookie QB more than I like the Bears defense for one. I know it's against a rookie QB still, but I just don't trust that Bears defense. And I think Caleb will be able to get some yardage. And like the Browns will have a good performance defensively, but I think the 49ers might be able to generate 1, 2, 3 turnovers on the Titans. So I think they've got more boom ability over the Titans than the Browns do over the Bears. Raven Rob, I always love your Raven insights because while you were talking about that, I did go back and I looked at what Lamar has done historically against the Cincinnati Bengals, and you're spot on, man. These last 2 years, you take out the game 2 weeks ago on Thanksgiving, Lamar has scored 32.9, 33.4, 24.0, and 22.9 against the Bengals. He has eaten them up. But where I will push back a little bit is this is not the same Lamar as last year. I think he is still dealing with a handful of injuries that have really hampered him. I would still go with Stafford because I think you can get more consistency out of Matthew Stafford this week. I'm excited to hear your victory lap on Monday if I am wrong, though. Appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend as well, man.
Hey, you too.
There goes Raven Rob. Always appreciate Raven Rob calling in. You can call in as well, 804-327-0888. It is Hot Take Friday, folks. So get those hot takes in on the text line. Alan and I will be sharing our hot takes at around 9:30 headed into the weekend. You do not want to miss it. Until then, you can text yours in, 804-327-0888. We'll be back with more right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
This year, make a tax-deductible contribution that can change a life. Every day, the American Red Cross helps thousands of people, providing emergency relief, emotional support, and essential care to families in need. We depend on your end-of-year donations to do this critical work. Donate to the American Red Cross before midnight, December 31st, and help us bring hope to a family with nowhere else to turn. Visit redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to make a donation that will save someone's life.
Illuminate Light Show, Virginia's largest, longest-running, and most affordable drive-through light and music show, is back and bigger than ever. We're talking 3 million lights spanning a 2.5-mile route, all perfectly synchronized to some of your favorite Christmas tunes. Cap off the evening inside Santa's Village for food, fun, and shopping, and of course, pictures with Santa himself. Illuminate Light Show, 5:30 p.m. nightly at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell. More info at illuminatelightshow.com. Family owned and operated for over 12 years.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/trust to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/trust for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/trust for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/trust. See representative for warranty details.
The Rich Eisen Show.
It's not working right now. Geno, is he the quarterback of the future? That's the tough thing is when you have 2 wins entering week 12 and your quarterback of the future is most likely not on the roster. And it's laudatory that you've got a coach who's taken the credit because he's trying to protect the quarterback, who's taking the blame because he wants to protect the coach. That's all admirable. But when it comes down to it, what does Tom Brady think of it?
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Michael Penix, 5 of 8 seasons have ended prematurely because of an injury. They're not making the playoffs. They're probably going to have a regime change. They probably don't have a quarterback of the future. They have a quarterback they're paying too much to do too little, who they now have to use. They would pick 8th in the draft this year if they had their pick, which they don't because they traded it to the LA Rams.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Commander Sundays start at Northwest Stadium, and Raisin Hail is there. Fan energy, game buzz, and Richmond's voice on Washington football. Raisin Hail, Thursdays at 6, only on your home for the NFL all season long. 106.1 ESPN Richmond, presented by Papa John's.
Welcome back in on this Friday morning, December 12th. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside, as it is an NFL-heavy Friday edition of Fitz the Bill. No college football really to dive into because we are waiting on bowl season to really start ratcheting up and the college football playoff to start ratcheting up, which is next Friday. Next Saturday is when college football playoff action gets underway. JMU, they're playing in the night game on Saturday in Eugene, Oregon. That should be a fantastic football game. If the interactions on Twitter that I have had with the Oregon Ducks fans are any indication, that game should be fantastic. Before we dive into the NFL slate, let's head on out to the phone lines. We've got Espo on line one. Good morning, Espo. How we doing?
Good. I'm on my way to the cheese shop to get some cheese to go with all that wine out of South Bend. You want anything?
Yeah, can you pick me up a nice red? I would really enjoy sipping on the tears of Notre Dame fans.
Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable what I'm hearing out of these guys. They were the class act of college football for so long, and now they're just a crybaby. Oh, my, I didn't make it. It's the same lament that every number 5, number 9, number 13 teams got. They've got it in spades, don't they?
It is insane because, yeah, you're right. They are, even still, they are a top 1 or 2 brand in all of college football, like across the nation. You meet more Notre Dame fans who have no real connection to Notre Dame. Why are you a Notre Dame fan? Did you go there? No. Did your parents go there? No. I just like the Fighting Irish. I played with them on College Football 25 or whatever it is. You meet more just like random Notre Dame fans. So they've got a great brand. They're also the only school with their own dang media rights deal. But also at the same time, man, oh man, just understand, like, you didn't win. You lost head-to-head to Miami. That right there. Full stop. That's the end of the conversation.
The guy. Who is this Favakwa guy saying they had the best 10-win run in history? Is he crazy? Is he just nuts? I mean, the school down the street in Bloomington had a better 10-run run than they did. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Well, did you see also, I think it was him, the AD. No other school has a 10-game winning streak or more than a 10-game winning streak going into this. Meanwhile, and this is my own purple-colored glasses, it's like, brother, JMU has an 11-game winning streak going into this. Right. Like, just do a little bit of research. Just fact check your speechwriters.
Does Nebraska ring a bell? Does Oklahoma ring a bell? Does any of these places ring a bell for this guy? What is he talking about? It is unbelievable.
He's truly something.
It's hurting me. Look, I like Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan. But after watching this, no wonder nobody's watching their game.
Shoot, it doesn't matter, Espo. They're still getting the millions of dollars. Like, and I love the Notre Dame fans.
I'm a capitalist. More power to you. But you can't go around like this and pick on the ACC for doing exactly what you're doing, which is advocating for your full-time member.
Right. That was the funniest part. We talked. I think I got a little too heated on it on Wednesday when we talked about it. But it's just like,
yeah, I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine because it was. I'll rehash it. The fact that the AD of Notre Dame is upset that the ACC is going to bat for their own schools is lunacy. On top of that, Notre Dame, you should feel lucky. You should have. Every part of you should be thanking your lucky stars. The ACC was there to save you in 2020 when COVID happened. You would not have been able to put together a full schedule as an independent that year. And what did the ACC do? They welcomed you into their conference for that 1 year, allowed you to play a full ACC schedule, and on top of that, invited you to play in the ACC championship game. And with that type of performance, you got into the college football playoff. Thanks to the ACC, who essentially took away opportunities from their own full-time members to help you out in 2020. And the way that you repay them is 5 years later, you're standing up there and you're saying that you are disrespected by the ACC for them defending their own programs. They've offered the olive branch to you. They've tried to bring you into their conference, and you have repeatedly said no.
Twice.
And this is what you get for it. This is what you get for it. You're not in a conference. You didn't win the games necessary. You lost to Miami.
I agree.
Well, you got me
I'll
heated.
add one footnote to what you said. I mean, in all fairness, Notre Dame and the ACC was going to stop their season just like the stupid Big Ten did, and Pac-12 or Pac-10 at the time, I guess. But Notre Dame, they did work a deal, and they said, look, with Notre Dame, it helps. So I think Notre Dame gets some credit for keeping the season alive. That might be a little overstated. But what's not overstated is that Notre Dame has continually turned them down at least twice since 2019 and basically said, we'll take all the benefits, we'll throw you guys some crumbs, and we'll let you play in all our other sports. I mean, the arrogance has really gotten out of hand, and it's a shame because Notre Dame really is that kind of brand that football could use when they're good. But right now, they look bad. They really look like a bunch of spoiled kids picking up their ball and walking home. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it's just not a good look. Espo, thank you so much for calling in. Always appreciate talking with you. Thank you for riling me up on this Friday around Notre Dame. If you just mention the words college football playoff, Paul Feinbaum, or Notre Dame right now, I'll get riled up. I'll start going. We're going to keep it out on the phone lines. On line 2, we've got South Carolina Duke. Good morning. How are we doing on this Friday? Great to hear from you.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. Good show as always. Hey, I just want to follow up on a couple things. A couple of days ago, y'all were talking about coaching and nepotism.
Yeah.
And how it has its ill effects, or it can. I tried to call into the show, and y'all are winding down, but wanted to follow up. A prime example of that in the college ranks and the nepotism and coaching is just look at Pickens County, South Carolina, and what Dabo's doing at Clemson. It's biting him in the rear end with all the nepotism. And nothing against Taj Boyd, because he was a great college quarterback from the Commonwealth of Virginia down there in Tiger Town. And then you add all the other Sweeney boys that they're helping their daddy, dismantle a program. It has a shelf life, and nepotism has a weight, and it will expire and ruin any organization.
100%. South Carolina Duke. I'll even go out a step further. Look at what's happening at North Carolina. Bill Belichick brings in his son Steve, and it was kind of the undoing with him in New England. You look at what's happening in Vegas with the Raiders with Pete Carroll. His 2 sons are on the coaching staff, and they're 2 of the more, underwhelming position groups that they're coaching. And you can point directly to the fact that Pete Carroll, even Bill Belichick, not just family nepotism, but they just hire their friends and they just make sure that they are surrounded by yes men. And that's never the way to run an organization. And it is something that always worries me. Fans love it when a former player comes in, right? Like a Taj Boyd. And they're like, oh, this is awesome. They're keeping it in the family. They're doing blah, 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 blah. I always worry when a former player comes back because how free are they to say what they actually believe? Because they're going back to work under a coach that used to be their coach. So are they free to say, hey, Dabo, that idea sucks. I hate that idea. We can't do it. Or are they just going to turn into yes men as well? So I like what you said on Taj Boyd. I like nepotism. That is when things start to sour in whatever organization it's happening in.
I agree. Now here's a couple other things. Let's go back to JMU. Between JMU right now and JMU Bloomington, our satellite campus, we're making up 17% of the CFP field.
Quick math. I like it.
Well, I was a business major, but anyway. Let's see. And then another thing, everybody talks about, I don't understand all the hate coming towards Tulane and JMU from the media, like Feinbaum and these morons, but they've all been given speaking points from ESPN to downplay the people who have earned it. It's run by a cartel, plain and simple. And so, the CFP, take JMU and our satellite campus. Cignetti has, of his 22 starters, 28% of those starters are from JMU. You can't say we can't compete.
Yeah.
When there was a higher percentage last year with Kamara and all the other JMU guys that that are signed in as free agents in the NFL. So I mean, I just don't get it. But it's proof that just the CFP appeals just to the unwashed masses of the Walmart fan and the sidewalk alumni. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
all they care about. Go ahead.
No, you're correct, because it's so much of it is they just want to see the big names and the big brands that they know. But I don't even think that's necessarily the case. I think, Paul Feinbaum and all these people are saying the country doesn't want this. Speaking in broad generalities, I would think the country actually would want to see some of these plucky quote unquote underdogs. There was so much love around Fairleigh Dickinson in the NCAA tournament in men's basketball, UMBC, all St. Peter's, all of these plucky underdogs that went on these runs were beloved by the nation. Tulane and JMU fits that mold perfectly.
And I'm not to mention JMU in any data point or metric deserve to outrank Tulane, for the CFP.
Yeah,
those are just facts. But now, the last thing I want to say is, other than the CFP just wanting to sell T-shirts to the sidewalk alumni and be influenced by a Modelo commercial, that's not a football beer. Anyway, Notre Dame, I'll just leave you with this. Notre Dame just needs to get over themselves, join a conference that all takes care of itself, stop running the Ponzi scheme that they're running at everyone else's expense with the TV contract and it's me. But if they would spend more time on trying to defeat, a marginal program like the Marshall Thundering Herd, they would be much better served.
South Carolina Duke, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend as well. And on the Notre Dame point, I don't think they'll ever join a conference for the main fact that they signed a clause in the college football playoff contract thing that if they expand, when they expand to 16 teams this offseason, Notre Dame will be assured a spot in the college football playoff if they check like one or two boxes they've checked almost every year for the past decade. So they really don't have to join a conference, which also adds to the craziness of them complaining so loudly when they got quote-unquote snubbed this time around, knowing full well they're going to be the ones that are just given a participation trophy next year and the year after that and the year after that when it expands to 16, when they're just assured a spot in, and it's going to push a team that is more deserving out of it. It is insane. I get that's your job as the athletic director of Notre Dame, but man, oh man, does it just grind my gears. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back with more right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Henrico Sports and Entertainment Authority Executive Director Dennis Bickmeyer joins Bob Black for the Henrico Huddle, ESPN Richmond's newest monthly feature.
Coastal Carolina University offers you the academic experiences you need to succeed after college. From marine science to computer science, from theater to music technology, from hospitality management to health administration, there is a place for you at Coastal Carolina University. With inspired learning opportunities in the classroom, in the field, online, and around the world, Coastal Carolina offers the opportunities to support and empower your success. Visit coastal.edu to learn more.
This is advertising material. 3 a.m. You're in the hospital, injured, and you need help now. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys answers 24/7. Accidents don't wait for business hours. Car accidents, truck wrecks, workplace injuries, medical malpractice. Serious injuries require immediate action. Over 250,000 clients represented. Over $2 billion recovered. Call now. 877-222-6666 or alexwins.law. Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. We fight while you heal. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Phil George's licensed attorney in Virginia. Responsible for legal work. Office is located at 500 East Main Street, Suite 1600-113, Norfolk, Code Virginia 23510.
Amber and Ian.
If Virginia wins that game, they are in the college football playoff. So Notre Dame, if you want to be in 24, you should have been in at 25 because your ass is left out.
I understand why Notre Dame's not in a conference, but then don't cry in the rare situation where it harms you. And then also, don't expect the ACC to advocate for you if you are not a partner with them in that sport.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. This is Freddie and Harry.
Before the season even started, I thought we would never even be having this conversation about who is the best team in the AFC. And there hasn't been one dominant team all season long.
True.
And I think there's a ton of parity in the AFC. But that's why you love football, right? Because every year is different, in my opinion. But when was the last time, Freddie, we thought about this? Like, you can say, hey, man, we don't know who's the most dominant team in the AFC is.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. This is Freddie and Harry.
Before the season even started, I thought we would never even be having this conversation about who is the best team in the AFC. And there hasn't been one dominant team all season long.
True.
And I think there's a ton of parity in the AFC. But that's why you love football, right? Because every year is different, in my opinion. But when was the last time, Freddie, we thought about this? Like, you can say, hey, man, we don't know who's the most dominant team in the AFC is.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. The Rich Eisen Show.
What did you think of the news that Phillip Rivers had a door knock from the Indianapolis Colts?
No disrespect to Phillip Rivers, and can he do it? Absolutely. We're going to go to Seattle? I mean, my word, like, these grown men want to kill you. Can you imagine his wife, 10 kids, and you're going to go out there and pray to God your left tackle don't throw a freaking Nolan Ryan, because you might not get up.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Statewide sports, straight talk, and no fluff. Border to Border with Matt Josephs on 106.1 ESPN. Your daily dose of hard-hitting Virginia sports debate. Don't miss it.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
They are a basket case, aren't they?
Yeah, it's the perfect song for Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, man. They are, like, the fact that they are assured a spot in if they expand to 16, and they're like, but we want you this year. Like, shut up, man. Shut up.
It is wild to also think the campaigning for your playoff spot typically starts in like week 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Like, look at how the SEC does it.
Sankey does it at the freaking media days.
Yeah, I was like, Sarkisian was doing that thing in like right after Halloween.
Yeah.
They were laying the foundation. If you leave us out, I mean, I look at the field and, I don't see how you could keep a team like this out. Like, that conversation starts in October, late October, early November. Not in December, buddy. We're past it.
Yeah,
now.
not after. We got a text in, and this might be a hot take because it's the start of Hot Take Friday now. Text in said, no hate for JMU. And you always got to love when a text starts like that. It's almost like when you're talking to a friend, you go, hey, I don't mean to offend you here, or no offense, right? And then you say something that is just completely offensive. No hate for JMU, but because they did what they needed to do to get in according to this system. Okay, you can stop your text right there. I don't need to read the rest of the text because, yes, they did what they needed to do to get in according to the system. Full stop, end of sentence. That's correct. I will read the next part of this text, however, because there's a but, and a pretty big but. But the best team they played was Louisville, and they lost. Not sure that anyone can make the argument that they were one of the best 12 teams in the country, and it feels like JMU fans don't quite understand that. If they keep it within 30 at Oregon, it will be a surprise. Let me start backwards, and I'll work my way up through this argument. If they keep it within 30, it actually won't be a surprise because the Vegas line is 21.5. So, boom, nerded. Vegas expects them to keep it within 3 touchdowns. So, whatever. And I don't think there is not a single JMU fan out there right now, and I feel very confident in saying that is arguing that JMU is one of the best 12 teams in the country. JMU fans understand that it's because of the ACC's stupid tiebreaker rule that allowed Duke to play in the ACC championship game, and then Duke would then go on to win. That is how JMU got in. The rule is the 5 highest ranked conference champions get the automatic bid. Those 5 were Indiana, were Georgia, Tulane, JMU, and Texas Tech. Of course, not in that order. Those were the 5 that got their automatic bids, and the rest are figured out with at-larges. Those at-larges are then determined to be the best teams remaining. That's how it's done. There's not a single JMU fan that believes the Dukes are one of the 12 best teams in the country. The best team they did play was Louisville. Now the second best, or now the best team they'll play is Oregon. Like, that's where I think this argument gets so weird, where people are like, well, JMU's not a top 12 team. You're right. They're not. But they got in underneath the system. They're one of the top 5 highest ranked conference champions. It allowed 2 G5s to get in this year. And it was an issue that I don't think the committee ever foresaw, because they never expected the ACC to let in a team like Duke into their ACC championship game, a Duke team that all of their advanced metrics are so poor because they lost to Tulane this year. They were 0-2 against G5 teams. And, like, just to say that also they're not one of the 12 best teams in the country, therefore they shouldn't make it in. I mean, you could make that argument with Alabama. You could make that argument with a host of teams that are in the playoffs this time around. Ole Miss, things like that. Like, if we're arguing the 12 best teams, the 12 teams with the best chance to win the national championship, there aren't 12 teams that have a great shot at winning the national championship. There's 2, 3, maybe 4. And those 4 are all playing in first-round buys. So I don't know. I don't understand it. They did what they needed to do to get in according to this system. Full stop. End of sentence. That's where we could have ended that text. The best team they did. Everything Yale said was right, but the one part I push back is JMU fans, I would argue, do understand they are not one of the 12 best teams in the nation right now. They're just one of the 12 teams still playing in a postseason. That's how it stands. We got another text in. I think Cam Newton was right. If he had to bring a retired player back, I would have rolled with Newton at this stage. I don't know if I would have. I don't know if I would have rolled with either one. I probably would have just kept it with Riley Leonard. But Riley Leonard must be
Can
really
we force simulate the rest of the season? That's what I would have went with.
Force sim. Yeah. I don't foresee Phillip Rivers being good. Cam Newton was not good. Cam Newton doesn't have a workable arm anymore. So, like, Cam was going off about it, feeling disrespected, slapping the face, all of this, that, and another. But, like, I don't know.
Bro, you're podcasting and stuff, so you're on ESPN and everything. I mean, it's not like they call Dan Orlovsky either. You know, it seems like you are in your second phase of your career. Phillip Rivers was coaching high school football. It's kind of like who is it? Was it Case Keenum was, or no, Josh McCown? I think was like coaching.
And they brought him out to be the QB2. Carson Wentz got hurt.
There was another one back in the day. Well, not back in the day per se, but like
Teddy Bridgewater.
15, 16 years ago. Teddy Bridgewater is another one. Kitna was the same way. He was coaching, and I think the Cowboys called him up to come play or something. So, I mean, it's not like it's out of the ordinary. We've seen it done before, Cam.
And all of it is just very much, I mean, essentially the Steichen and Rivers thing is just nepotism.
Well, that's his bro.
Yeah, exactly. Rivers has been coaching high school ball for the last year or two, and he's running the same offense the Colts run. And so every week he would have a phone call with Shane Steichen to go over what Rivers could do better to help improve the offense at the high school level. So him and Steichen are boys already. So when Steichen needed a new QB, probably just dropped it in their already scheduled weekly call and was like, hey, man, you want to come up to Indy real quick, try out for us and see if you've still got it? And he still got it against Air. We'll see if he still got it against the Seattle Seahawks defense if he ends up starting on Sunday. Hot takes on this Hot Take Friday. My hottest take, it's not really that hot of a take, but the winner of Patriots-Bills will win MVP. If Drake May wins it, Drake May will be the MVP. If Josh Allen wins this game, Josh Allen will be the MVP. This game is for the AFC East, but it's also to see who wins most valuable player this year. This game has a ton of implications, not just MVP, but for the AFC East, because if the Patriots win this game, they clinch the AFC East. If the Bills win this game, the Patriots still very much are in the driver's seat, but it keeps the door open for the Buffalo Bills to potentially win the AFC East. But the winner of this game, my hot take is that the winner will win MVP. And I think it's going to be Drake May, despite the Bills being slightly favored in this game, surprisingly.
All right, I got you. Hot take. Kyle Pitts is the best tight end in the league. He's been underutilized since he got drafted. I've been saying it all along. I finally get to take my victory lap.
Only took you 74 career games to get there.
I was actually afraid. My friends have held that over my head for so long. That is my.
I'd argue they still can hold that.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's my draft. That's my one of many, but one of the most recent. Like, this is a can't miss prospect draft call, and they never let it go. And last night I got the kind of at least smile and look to the side, like, see.
I told you he's got something. He's got something. Now,
I'll hold my breath.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts is the most frustrating tight end.
He should be crushing the league. I don't get it.
Like, literally every year you're like, he should be so much better than he is. But he had a pretty bad injury early on in his career, may have impacted his mobility. He's not a great blocking tight end. And so maybe that, I don't know. I don't know. Another hot take I have, and this one you can call me a homer for it. I'm bracing myself for impact. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They've got the Colts, Rams, Panthers, 49ers all remaining. And if they beat the Rams on next Thursday night, then they will be in the driver's seat to win the NFC number 1 seed. Essentially what they have to do is win out, which is not all that crazy considering the Colts and Panthers are automatic dubs. Then you've got 2 divisional games. The 49ers game early this season was a 17-13 weird game where the Seahawks offense just did not know what they were doing whatsoever. And then after that, they found a rhythm. But those are going to be 2 tougher games, but that's why it's a hot take. I think they can win both of them. They'll win out, and they'll be the number 1 seed in the NFC.
I think that the Texans are the most dangerous team in the NFL right now.
Whoa.
And I say that because,
man, you are coming in with the scorchers this morning.
Historically speaking, there's always one team that gets hot towards the end of the season and they make a run in the playoffs. And typically when that team gets hot, the one thing that makes them super dangerous is their defense. And the ability of their defense to take any quarterback. Doesn't matter if it's Mahomes or Burrow, or in the back in the day if it was Peyton, or, in some cases Brady. It didn't matter. This defense was going to be formidable, whether they were home or away.
Yeah.
That defense was good. And I think we're seeing that with the Texans. And there's enough talent in Stroud and this offense that they could, honestly, they could make some games ugly.
Yeah.
And because of the playmaking ability of the defense, they could win.
I love this one.
I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl bound team.
No.
But I'm saying they're definitely a team, doesn't get talked about enough, that is very, very dangerous if they get in, and they have a good chance of getting in.
And they've gone on this run with Davis Mills starting 3 of the last 5 games. Like, he played the Jacksonville game, the Titans game, and the Bills game, all wins. That was with Davis Mills. So you just know how impressive that defense is if they're able to win with Davis Mills as their QB. I'll even go a step further and build off of your hot take there. The winner of the AFC is going to be a wild card team. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because the Buffalo Bills are going to be a wild card team. And I've got the Buffalo Bills winning the AFC for a couple of reasons. But one of the biggest reasons is that they have to. There's no excuses if they do not. If they do not, we talked about it with Lake Lewis Jr. when he was in studio on Wednesday. If they do not win the AFC, I think that is more of a heartbreaking loss than the 4 falls of Buffalo when they lost the Super Bowl in 4 straight years in the 90s. You do not have, as it stands now, Burrow's not in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's not in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is not in the playoffs. The quarterbacks you would be facing off against right here, right now, if the season ended today, Bo Nix, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, and Phillip Rivers. No, excuse me. The Colts are out of the playoffs as it stands right now. They're the 8th seed. So CJ Stroud. The Buffalo Bills are winning the AFC, and therefore I'm going to kind of buffer myself a little bit, build off your Texans take, and go, the AFC champ is in the wild card.
And look, Buffalo fans, as a Niner fan, I can tell you, you don't want to waste that opportunity when you can avoid playing Patrick Mahomes. We did that. And the Rams ended up winning the Super Bowl. They played the Bengals. If only If only we could have played the Bengals.
If only.
We had to get Mahomes twice.
Yeah, so take advantage of your opportunity. Take advantage. Matthew Stafford would be still Super Bowl-less if he had to play against Mahomes.
I don't know about all that. I really don't, because Stafford's got some magic, man.
Yeah, he does. Maybe sometimes more magic than Mahomes. But
yeah, no, for real. Like he's a playmaker. It's wild that people are now trying to give him more credibility for a potential Hall of Fame career. I'm like, dude, after the Super Bowl, I was like, well, yeah, he's Hall of Fame bound. I thought he had enough.
Yeah.
Apparently he didn't. Now he does.
I think he had enough after the Super Bowl. I mean, people just forget what he did in Detroit. Like, yeah he didn't have the win-loss record, but boy, oh boy, was he a great QB.
There.
Do you have any other hot takes?
We are witnessing some of the best collegiate basketball that we've seen in quite some time. And last year's freshman class, I remember saying, because I was like, Derek Queen's 10th in this freshman class. That's insane. Hot take: this freshman class this year is better
for Duke.
For the nation.
For the nation.
Yes, for the nation. I think this freshman class is better.
I mean, just led by AJ DeBansa. I got to get his name right before March Madness.
That dude AJ, that's what I call him. That dude
AJ.
He got the juice.
He's a dog. What Duke's got cooking down there as well with the Boozer Bros.
Yeah, Big Boozer's on his way. He got. I don't know why people don't say it, but I see a lot of Charles Barkley in this game, honestly. Which isn't a bad comparison.
You know why I don't say that?
Why?
Because I didn't see Charles Barkley play.
Duh. But no, Chuck was nice.
I know Chuck was nice.
Chuck got an MVP during the Jordan era.
Yeah, Chuck was real nice.
I'm saying.
Chuck just couldn't win championships.
I mean, and it won't his fault that they didn't win that championship. We won't revisit that, I'm sure. When we get to NBA season full tilt, I'll definitely go back down memory lane. We will not blame Charles Barkley for that. We will blame Kevin Johnson for that.
Big Round of Mound? What was his nickname?
Big Round of Round, yeah.
Was that it? That's a good nickname. I like it. All right. My last hot take. I'm keeping it in the NFL. The Chiefs are going to lose out. They got the Chargers, Titans, Broncos, Raiders.
It was the round mound of rebound, by the way.
Okay, I was close enough. There's a lot of ounds.
I laughed and I was like, wait a minute, I should correct him. But again, it was before your time.
The round mound of rebound?
The round mound of rebound.
Okay, I was so close.
You are forgiven, again, because it was before your era. Yeah, so you're fine. I'm not picking at you.
Okay, thank you. I got like 4 of the 5 words correct. That's close enough. My hot take is the Chiefs are losing out. There's something wrong in there, and we are witnessing the end of this iteration of the Chiefs dynasty. They're going to have a hard reset this offseason to try and figure out where they're going to move from here. All right, let's get our last break in here. We'll step aside. Be back to wrap up this Friday edition of Fitz the Bill.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
The guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, president of Leaf Filter, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/trust to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/trust for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/trust for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/trust. See representative for warranty details.
The lights, the rivalries, the NFL in prime time. From Thursday to Sunday to Monday nights, every big matchup is here. Only on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks NFL all season long.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this Friday morning. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick. Alan alongside. couple more NFL games we've got to dive into. Before we get up on out of here, get you set for the weekend. As we talked about a little bit, with the Buccaneers losing last night, all of a sudden the Panthers are now the number 1 seed in the NFC South. And who would have thunk it? But the Panthers now going on the road, taking on the Saints. But it's a real opportunity for the Panthers to put a huge, just a complete vice grip on the NFC South, because you know who they play next week? Oh, they play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So they can really capitalize on this tailspin the Bucs find themselves in. Just one win for the Buccaneers since their bye week. You hate to see that. 2 out of 3 games remaining for the Bucs are against the Panthers. That ain't good. 2 out of 4, I think, for the Panthers. Because the Panthers got the Seahawks in there as well. Yeah. I wouldn't say that ain't. With how the Buccaneers are playing, that feels bad, right? But just in the same breath, just as much as that is a good thing for the Panthers, the Bucs can use that as an opportunity to get 2 wins over the Panthers and catapult themselves back into the driver's seat of the NFC South. So that Week 18 game in Tampa between the Bucs and the Panthers, that's going to be cinema. Yeah, I mean, for the Buccaneers, I think coming into this season, it was always a matter of winning the division to get into the playoffs. I don't think anybody foresaw the Panthers being their closest competition. I think most of us expected it to be the Falcons. Yes. But the Panthers are a dangerous team. And if they can figure out how to win on the road, if they can go to Tampa and get a win, then it's gonna be advantage Carolina. And if they can figure out how to play with consistency. Yeah. Because dating back to their loss against the Bills, it was a 40-9 loss against the Buffalo Bills in Week 8. They've rotated wins and losses. It's gone loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. And they had a bye week. So maybe that helped break up that rhythm a little bit, but they've got to find a way here. They've got Tampa twice in New Orleans. They've got to go 2-1 in their divisional games here on out to pull out the win. You kind of need to go 2-2 though down the stretch, regardless. The Seattle game matters a little bit, but I don't think it matters all that much. It is important that it's an NFC game, but really the games that matter the most are the NFC South. We also get Chargers-Chiefs, and I just shared on my Hot Take Friday take that I think the Chiefs are going to lose out, and it's going to be a hard factory reset this offseason. But with a loss, the Chiefs' playoff probability goes down to less than 1%. It's currently 13%. A win for Kansas City would push them up to 19%. But the real kicker is, even if they win out and go 4-0 here down the stretch, they have just a 46% chance to make the playoffs based on everything else going on around them. So the Chiefs really find themselves in a tough spot. But if they can get a win against the Chargers, maybe that's enough to kind of put the Chargers into a tailspin of their own. And then you can capitalize that, maybe jump over them in the AFC West. But, I mean, it's a 3-game lead for the Chargers over the Chiefs. And as it stands now, the Chargers have that tiebreaker over them. It's gonna be a wild game there in Kansas City, and I'm excited for that one. Yeah, they need to win that game. I'm curious to see how the Chargers come out and play after that emotional and big win. Monday? Monday. Yeah. So kind of a short week. Raiders-Eagles. Eagles are looking to snap their 3-game skid. What better way? Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can't snap it against them, we really do have a problem. Yeah, we're at what, DEFCON 4 right now? If they lose to the Raiders, we go to DEFCON 7, which doesn't even exist. Pack it up, throw it away. Just cancel the season and go back. Come back again next year with a new OC. Just take all hiring abilities away from Nick Sirianni if you lose this game. What better way to get the bad taste out of your mouth of a 3-game losing streak than taking on the Las Vegas Raiders? Well, come on, Philly, you got to do something. And Commanders-Giants, nothing like the battle of the bads. Nothing like the battle of the bads. The battle of the bads. For the Giants, you want to keep losing so you get a better draft pick. For the Commanders, I think they want to find at least some sort of rhythm and get a win over New York. We went over that last night on Raising Hell. I don't think it changes anything whether they win or lose at this point, especially if their need is going to be an edge rusher first. Yeah, they're not gonna move enough to get it. to be concerned. I think worst case scenario, if they win out, they're probably number
12 or 13. It's
And
still
you can still
fine.
get a good, yeah.
If anything, if they're thinking about maybe trading for draft capital, like trading down in the draft, then they probably want to hold the highest pick they possibly can have.
Jaden Daniels is out.
He's
for the
out,
game.
but they left open the door that he might play later on in the season still. I know
that's going to make you mad.
It did.
Appreciate everyone for tuning in this week. An interesting week of Fitzville with some snow days, some sick days, everything in between, but appreciate you for making us part of your morning. Keep it locked right here on ESPN Richmond. We are where Richmond talks sports. Clinton and Friends goes into the Rich Eisen Show, and then we're back here live and local from the Ortho Virginia studios with a special Friday edition of Border to Border with Matt Josephs. So keep it locked right here, 106.1 ESPN. We'll be back on Monday, same time, same place on your dial. Battle of the Bads, man. I cannot wait. You get Marcus Mariota against Jackson Dart. That should be fun. That should be a good one.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.